mission that is.
Thank you very much.
I have no idea how I get to that, to Joao Cancelo being grumpy, but here he is.
Joao. Nosotros somos apesados, madre mía. Todos los días aquí, es que no vamos para todos los días. Vai, rápido, vai. Acércate. Por favor.
His face is awesome, isn't it? It's so brilliant. I love it, Alex. He hasn't been there that long.
That's the best bit, isn't it? The fact that when he reluctantly agrees to take the photo, he does so stony-faced. Just think of that kid who's now got this selfie, but like you said, incredibly grumpy-looking Joao Cancelo. I've got to say, it seems like a pretty minor inconvenience having to stop for a photo or two when you're leaving training every day. Now, Barca have had some issues with this over the years. There's a feeling from the Barca players that this kind of it's happening too often, and often there's a lot of the same people who are waiting outside the gates. Some of these, of course, are genuine fans and their kids. Some people, the suspicion at least is that they're there to get autographs, which they then immediately stick on eBay and that kind of thing. And some of the Barca players over the last couple of years have asked if there's anything that can be done in terms of security and sort of tightening up on this. But it's difficult because, of course, you leave the training ground, you head out onto a public road. There's always going to be a point there where fans can gather. And this doesn't just happen with Barca. It happens outside Real Madrid's training ground, as you know, Dan. It happens with big clubs all over the world. Yeah, like I say, it seems a pretty minor thing to get upset about here from Joao Cancelo.
I love it, Naden. he did stop, to be fair. He could have just kept driving, knocked them over.
Well, yeah, this is true. And to be honest, now I've looked at it and thought about it some more, it's not necessarily the fact that you have to stop. It is when it's the same faces. And I'll be honest, they are pretty annoying. Because, if you're stopping for a picture with someone new every time, you can see that they've got passion towards you and the club. But literally the same person over and over and over. It's like, well, what now? And in fairness, you must have a pretty good relationship with them, because if you said to a complete stranger, you're annoying, but come on, you're probably not going to take the picture with them. So I think overall, it's a funny one. It's a funny one. But then, at the end of the day, this is how some people are. And I think the best thing I've seen for that as a remedy, not in terms of pictures, but in autographs, I think it was Craig Bellamy. And he said he'd only sign something if he would put their name on the merchandise. So unless he's saying best wishes to such and such a person, he's not doing it. And before you know it, there are a lot of broken hearts and people thinking, oh, why is he so miserable? Well, the fact is you tried to profit from him, and I think he's onto you.
Stuart Robson would bring up your Maserati in this situation, Shank.
Wow. And why would he?
Ploughing through the West Ham fans.
I've never done any such thing. Listen, I sympathise with Joao Cancelo and the issues, but the only parallel I can draw here is my time at Newcastle. At Newcastle, and Kevin Keegan would always insist that we sign as many as we could, because he felt these were genuine fans. He would allow fans into the training ground. Any day of the week, we'd have 5,000 people at training.
Wow.
During school holidays, it would go up to 10,000, and we'd have club security, everything there to kind of marshal the crowds, to help players in and out of the training ground. But Kevin Keegan felt that this was part of our responsibilities as a footballer in that city. So we signed as much as we could, and then we leave. Some players obviously would sign more than others. But
where were you on the power rankings of signing?
At the very top.
Oh,
as you would fully expect. But the point being, this is who we were, because Kevin Keegan said this is who we were. And we did it without complaint, and it was managed accordingly. Obviously, it's a different message being sent from on top in this instance.
This is like you in Columbus, Ali. You can't go anywhere. People stopping you in your car.
I love the crew. Oh, I'm a big deal in Columbus. Don't you worry about that. I think the club could help the players, and to Shaka's point, you allow people, if not to training, to a designated area where the players can go and sign autographs after training. If you have the same person over and over again, when that person is not allowed in.
Maybe he's just a big Cancelo fan. Just likes
if you have a person that is there over and over again, you simply don't allow them into the training ground, and then that's it. You've allowed access to the fans. They've signed the autographs. They've done their part. Now everybody moves on with their lives.